While Russia's brutal attacks have been going on since February 24, sad news came on Wednesday night. People once again realized that Putin has no conscience. The Russian military carried out shelling on a building where citizens live in Kharkiv last night. 12 Ukrainian citizens lost their lives in the attack. There are no soldiers among the people who lost their lives, all of them are innocent citizens, and there is no military facility near the decimated house. There is no possibility of accidentally hitting there. The Russian military is apparently targeting settlements where innocent citizens live. All countries of the world should come together on this issue and show their reaction to Russian President Putin and impose sanctions on Russia. Ukrainian President Zelensky seemed upset about the incident last night at the meeting he attended today. Zelensky held a meeting with United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres in Lviv on Thursday. The main topic of the meeting between Zelensky and the Secretary-General was the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. At the meeting, the explosion that took place at the facility was discussed. The current situation of the facility, the demobilization of Russian soldiers from the facility and the situation around the power plant were discussed. Zelensky said that the attack on the nuclear power plant was blackmail. The Russian army was performed aggressively and therefore can have catastrophic global consequences for the whole world of this deliberate terrorism of the United Nations, the security of this strategic region, to be free and safe from the Russian military to assist in making requested. We know that during this time, when the war is still going on, experts have written their reviews and researches about this war. This time, a former Russian soldier shared a post about the war and expressed his opposition to the war, writing an article of about 140 pages that it should end. A former Russian soldier named Pavel Filatyev openly expressed his opposition to the war. In his article, Filatyev openly describes how he was sent to the Kherson region from Crimea to Ukraine as a paratrooper and how he entered the region there. In his article, he states that he returned from the war a month and a half ago. He calls the situation taking place in Ukraine not a war, but an attack on the Ukrainian people and speaks of feeling a sense of guilt. He also mentions in his article that the Russian army is more comfortable walking around Ukraine wearing Ukrainian uniforms. The Ukrainian people and the army need to pay close attention to this issue. Filatyev also says in his article that he persuaded the paratroopers to send to the front by promising them $70 per day, but when they returned, he received only half the promised amount, which was less than they deserved. On top of this explanation, it comes to mind that the reason Filatyev shared this post is because he could not get money from Russia. Is the reason he says he feels guilty about the war is because the Russian government has not paid the salary he promised? After this post was shared, it was read a lot, and later it was announced that Filatyev had fled Russia. Last week, the Ukrainian government made a new decision after a joint meeting with the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, following information from Ukrainian intelligence. Ukrainian intelligence has mentioned that there are Russian agents and spies inside the country. For this, a curfew was decided in the cities of Mariupol and Donetsk, which are one of the most intense areas of the war. This was a difficult but vitally important decision for the citizens and covered only 3 days. A curfew was imposed in 2 cities for 3 days, and the ban came to an end. The head of the regional administration said in his speech that this decision was the right one. He was trying to get information from Russian army spies, whom the course of the war turned to the Ukrainian army and cornered in some areas. Even some of his spies were carrying out secret attacks and causing damage in the areas where citizens lived. The head of the regional administration said that this ban has effectively ended, and Ukrainian citizens have complied with this decision and have a big stake in achieving success. Russian agents, who provided information about critical areas of the cities, were helping the Russian military to carry out attacks. They prevented this by identifying the agents. The Ukrainian army, conducting searches at times when there was a ban, detected Russian agents who could not stand still due to their duties. As a result of long efforts, 15 Russian agents were captured in 2 cities. 15 Russian spies were captured in the cities who were trying to improve their research and tactical operations, and this success was a morale boost to the Ukrainian army. Because the intelligence and tactics of spies and agents play a big role in wars, as well as soldiers. Neutralizing the agents will facilitate the work of the Ukrainian army. Everyone who was seen outside during the curfew was checked. 55 people who were considered risky were taken to the police station, and 15 of them were found to be Russian agents. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine also made a statement on the issue. In the statement, he first apologized for the hardship they inflicted on their citizens and expressed satisfaction with their compliance with the decision, then congratulated the armed forces who served throughout the ban and showed success in capturing the agents. It was learned that many of the identified agents were sent to Ukraine after the invasion attempt launched by Russia on February 24, and since then they have been serving in Ukraine, going to Russia from time to time and holding meetings. According to the ministry's statement, apart from this ban period, Russian agents have been detected and captured from time to time, and many Russian agents who have entered the country's territory since the beginning of the war have been captured, he said. This decision was another blow for Russia. This war is progressing in a way that Russia never expected, and the territories that it occupied in the first months stopped and began to lose back one by one. Every day is passing unsuccessfully for Russia. The Turkish Defense Ministry announced that 622,000 tons of grain were shipped from Ukrainian ports along with the ports that started shipping after the agreement signed between Russia and Ukraine under the leadership of the United Nations and Turkey in Istanbul in recent weeks. December. This agreement has been an economically comforting move for Ukraine and a comforting decision for countries such as Africa that are suffering from a food crisis and hunger. According to the statements of the Ministry of Defense, it was announced that 43 ships were used for grain shipment from Ukrainian ports after the agreement, and a total of 622,000 tons of products were exported. Ships going to Ukraine and departing again after loading products from Ukrainian ports are subjected to a comprehensive inspection at the ports of Istanbul, without exception. What do you guys think about the progress of the war? When do you think these conflicts between the two countries will end decisively, and when will the war end? I wonder if the war will end with an agreement signed decisively between the two countries. You can find the latest and most powerful news from the world on this channel.